Hi everyone, I have my collection of Real Techniques brushes here to share with you. It is a large collection, but it's not completely exhaustive. I don't own every single brush, but I own all of them except for maybe 3. I am not going to list every single detail or tell you every single detail. I will list all the information in the About area underneath this video. It's what we used to call the description box. And I can't remember which stuff came in what kind of set, but all of that information will be in the description box below. I'm just going to tell you what I use the brushes for, what they're intended for, and what I think about them. So first off, before I start raving about how wonderful they are, and they are, I want to share with you the just one negative, or I wouldn't even say it's a negative, but one thing I'm not head over heels over, and that is the rubber wrapping, I'd say, around the base of no matter what kind of brush it is, they all have this rubber wrapping. And the problem is that over time and use, this is the perfect example, it gets kind of chewed up and nasty. And I don't really care for that so much. Also, there's no way to, I know some people like to take nail polish and paint the base of their brushes to tell them apart from other people's, and that's just not possible. Here's another example. It got really just kind of gross. So I don't know what causes that. These haven't been, I mean, I wash my brushes, but I don't wash this. This doesn't get immersed in water, so I don't know what causes that, but that would be my only negative to say about the brushes. So now that that's out of the way, let me say that yes, I absolutely love these brushes. I bought each and every one of them with my own money. I have bought numerous sets for friends as gifts. They make great presents. I bought some for my sister-in-law. I think I bought some for my niece. I bought some for friends. I say they are great for anyone's budget. I love them. My only, okay, I guess I have 2 more, I wouldn't say complaints, but constructive criticism. One, I wish they were available to buy individually, and many of them are only available in sets. And I don't need duplicates of every single brush, but there are some that I would prefer to have, so I wish I had the ability to buy them individually. And I think that's it. That's my only other constructive criticism I have. So let's dive into it. I will start with the face brushes. Now all of these brushes are color coded, so this orangey bronzy color is specifically for face. The purple ones are specifically for eyes, although you'll see that they're very multi-purpose. And then I guess these are considered multi-purpose, but mostly they're face, so I don't know what the reasoning is on that. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments below. So starting with, I have them laid out in category 1 of the face brushes. All of them say Real Techniques by Samantha Chapman, right there along the barrel. They're very lightweight. I think this is aluminum. And the bigger brushes are quite wide, so you could actually stand them up on your bathroom counter, your vanity, or wherever you do your makeup. So this is the largest brush in the collection by far. It's about the length of my head, my face, and this is the powder brush. And pretty much this is all I use it for. It's just powder. When I do travel, I don't take this one with me. It's just really big. And I use this, I could either stamp it, a loose powder on, or press powder, or swoosh around. I find it too large to use for bronzer, obviously too large for blush, but it's a great powder brush. This was definitely part of a set, and I know this because I had to buy 2 of them to replace one of the brushes in the set that got eaten by a dog. This is the contour brush, and it's a very small head, so it's about a little bit wider than my thumb. And this can be used for a variety of things, but what I find that I use it for is, what it's intended for is contour, to do a little bit of detail work there. You could also use it to pat powder underneath your eyes. I really like using this with cream products especially. All of these really lend themselves well to cream or liquid because they're so easy to wash. This duo, it's not really a duo fiber, but the bristles they're super easy to clean. That is a definite advantage to this line, is the ease in which you can clean them. So this, like I said, or a little bit of blush, or you could use this for highlight, a myriad of uses, which is a great thing about all these products. Probably one of my top 5 brushes. It'd be hard to pick my 5 favorite, but this is probably one of them. It's the buffing brush, and I know this came in a set, and it was the one I had to replace. This is my new one. Wrigley ate the half of the original one. This one is one of my favorite brushes for buffing in liquid or cream foundation, buffing in cream blush, after you've put on your foundation. If you just want to kind of lightly go over all of it, just to make sure it's really finely buffed into your skin, hence the name buffing brush. The most versatile brush, and I don't want to say that, they're all so versatile. One of the most versatile brushes, definitely a must for your collection, and one of the #1 one I wish was sold separately so I could grab a few more. This is by far my favorite foundation brush of all the brushes I've used. The Sigma F80, the other brushes in this collection, even the Beauty Blender. This is the one I reach for over and over. I love it so much I bought 2, and I'd probably go buy another one just because I'm lazy and I don't like washing my brushes as often as I should. It's the Expert Face Brush. I think I've talked about it all by itself in a video. It's a dense, very dense head. You can see it doesn't smush down so easily. And it's wider this way and then narrower here. And you just put on your foundation and just start working it in. And the shape of the brush gets into every nook and cranny. It spreads your foundation so beautifully. It makes it look flawless every time. It is a no-brainer. It is perfect for everyone. Everyone just get this. All of these brushes are, can't remember off the top of my head, but most of them are $10 or less individually, and then the sets are usually around 15 to 18. I'll get into more of that as we get to the end of this video. 2 brushes I never ever use. This is the pointed foundation brush. It came in a set. I would have never bought this on my own. I don't like flat foundation brushes. This is a personal preference. I'm sure there are things I could figure out what to do with it. I could smack down a big chunk of eyeshadow here. I could pat some highlighter, but I never reach for this brush. And another one I never reach for is the Essential Foundation Brush, which is very similar. It's a little bit wider, it's a little bit thicker, it's a lot thicker, and some people love this. I just don't like flat foundation brushes, so I don't go for those. This also came in a set. This is the Detailer brush. It's teeny tiny. And my ring is dirty, sorry. And I've used this for putting highlighter right here above my Cupid's bow, packing stuff in the inner corner, some detail blending for concealers for some pinpoint concealing. It's very handy. Lip brush, it uses a lip brush. I think that was its intended purpose, but lots of things. Okay, on to my red collection. So this one I use every single day as well. This is the Multitask brush. I will compare it very briefly. This is the blush brush. I prefer the blush brush for something else, so let's talk about the Multitask brush. This, I believe, is in a set. Again, I wish I could buy this one separately because I use this every single day for blush. I find this thing is way too big for blush. I just don't have that big of a head. This, I dip, well, let's pretend this is a blush pan. I dip it into my blush and I stamp it on my face, just like that. And then because it's fluffy at the edges, then I just swirl it a little bit to blend, and we're good. Love this brush. Just wish I could get my hands on it without having to buy a whole set. This, however, the blush brush, I love for a lot of other things besides blush. If you have a large enough cheek area, I guess you could use it for blush. I like it for loose powder, but what I use it the most for is for bronzer. Not for contouring bronzer, but just to sweep the color all over my face. Used it today. And it's so soft and it's so fluffy, and I just like having it on my face. It just makes putting on your makeup a nice experience. Another brush I use every single day is the setting brush. This you can buy separately. And it's quite small, and I use it really for only the purpose that it says on the handle, and that is to set. I have learned this summer that it is key to set your under eye concealer with some sort of loose setting powder. We can talk about what I use for that later. Mostly it's the MAC Prep and Prime translucent setting powder or finishing powder or whatever they call it. It's clear. I dip my brush in, pat, 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 pat. I usually close my eyes so it doesn't get into my eye. And that's all. And I use it every day. And it's teeny tiny for a face brush, and I love it. Love it. This was, I think, the first brush, and this is why it looks so old, the first brush that I purchased. The writing is worn off, but it is the stippling brush. And if you like using a stippling brush and the expert face brush isn't for you, get this for yourself, and you just dab it into your foundation, dab it all over your face, and then blend, blend, blend. What I have been using it for a little bit more is I have a cream bronzer and cream blushes that this is great for stippling it in and then blending it out. So another one that is good to have. Now for the eye brushes. This is the Lash Brow Groomer, kind of self-explanatory. You can see there's gunk on there, so this has been used. I don't use it as much. I really don't use this brush as much as I thought I would, to be honest. I prefer to separate my lashes with a spoolie, and I find that this doesn't really get in there. And then as far as the brow side, I also prefer a spoolie, but it's personal preference. There's nothing wrong with it. I just have another brush that I like to use for that. It came in a set. This is the fine liner brush. Looks like that. It's pretty fine. It's a liner brush. I purchased it to try my hand at winged liner. Nothing against the brush. I still stink at it. You can see, I don't know if you can, hang on. I don't know if you can see. Some of the bristles are fraying a little on the sides, and so I have this rogue bristle on one side, so I really don't reach for this. Didn't really work out for me. I've seen Sam from Pixie just lay it down, but I think she could make any brush look easy to use because she knows what she's doing and I don't. So this has not really worked for me. This brush I actually like a lot. It's the brow brush, and it's an angled brush, and it's very reminiscent in shape to the MAC 266, but it's thicker. Can you see that? It's thicker, and more dense, so you can really get the powder in there very nicely, and so I really do like this for brows. It makes filling in your brows with powder very, very easy and fast. This is one of my favorite little brushes. This is the accent brush. Very similar to the detail brush, but it's a little bit wider, and I use this a lot for my inner corner. And for smudging shadow underneath my eye, and for smudging stuff along my lash line. It's a little brush, but it's very, very handy. Now for my faves. Just making sure I don't have plurals. I don't. I wish I had more of these eye brushes. This is the base shadow brush. This is an interesting brush because it looks like it's a flat brush to lay down base shadow, which it is, but when you turn it sideways, it's shaped very much like a MAC 217. So if you could get your hands on a bunch of these brushes sold individually, you really wouldn't need more than this to do your eye makeup, because I can lay it down to put on my eyeshadow, my lid color, and then turn it sideways, just like a 217, to put increased color and to blend it out, because you see how it comes to a point, sort of? And then when you turn it sideways, it just makes, you gotta use the brush how it was designed sometimes. And it's designed to get in there and blend. And that was ingenious. And it's a very handy little brush. I would say this would definitely replace a MAC 217. You just gotta get your head around using something that's not MAC. I know it's hard for some of us, but there are other brushes out there. Not if you watch YouTube, apparently. It is the only brush to own, right? But no, there are other things you can use besides that to do crease work. Speaking of crease work, this is the Deluxe crease brush, and it is round-ish. I think it's rounder when you first buy it, but that's what it looks like. It's very dense. It's not a floppy thing, and that is really for laying down color just in your crease and blending it out. The stiffness helps blend it, but if you have a heavy hand, be careful. This is another multi-purpose brush. This is great for blending out concealer. I wish I had more of these. Because of its density, it's like an extension of your finger, and so you can blend out concealer on blemishes and under your eyes and not worry about pressing down too hard. So I wish this was one of those ones you could buy individually. And then the last two, this is the shading brush. It's a small flat brush, and that's what I like about it, is that I don't have big eyes, so sometimes I don't want a larger head on my brush. I just want to get in there, or maybe just want to only put color on one half of my lid, and this lets me get in there. And because it's dense, it's not real floppy, and pointy, I can also use it to smudge color around my lash line. And then the last brush that I really wish they made more, they sold individually, and if they do, I haven't found it, is the domed shadow brush. And this is sort of like the base shadow brush. You can see the height, or not the height, but the shape. They come up and then it kind of rounds up to a point at the top. But this one is more dense and more stiff. So again, I find that I grab this for just smacking color on. I don't really blend with it, but I also really love this for concealer, to conceal bits and pieces along my face that need concealing. So that's my collection. I did a very quick rundown. Samantha Chapman, Pixie Woo herself, has a whole YouTube channel called Real Techniques that explains how to use every single one of these brushes and shows you how they're really intended to be used. Obviously, they're her brushes, she knows better than me. This is just my personal experience. I personally have bought all of these at Ulta. You can buy them in person at Ulta. I have seen them online at Walmart and Target, and I think drugstore.com, Walgreens.com. I said Walgreens, I can't remember. Walmart. I will find some links for them and put them in the description box. They are definitely available internationally. I know in the UK they're definitely in Boots. I don't know where else they are, but I've seen them in Boots. And Real Techniques has a website where I'm sure you could go on and find a store locator there. So I hope that's helpful, because I know a lot of you haven't seen them in person. I didn't want this video to go on forever, so like I said, a lot more information below my head click on About, and it'll be all in there. If you have any questions or suggestions or some information that I missed that everybody else should know about, please feel free to share it in the comments section. I urge everyone to not only read my description box, but always have a glance through the comments, because together we just learn more when we share what we know. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.